Good morning.
Good morning, Monday.
Yes.
What a great Monday.
No, it is a fab Monday.
We love Mondays.
We like to be honest, this is take 2. Now, every time we do 2 takes, which is becoming more and more regularly, we say, we don't do it very often, but we are now. But that was possibly the worst 10 minute for children screaming, fighting and interrupting ever. So
this is why Joseph has come in to play with us for 10 minutes.
And the older 2 have been read the Riot Act.
We can't trust all 3 to be in the same room and not actually kill each other for 10 minutes.
No, so we are, right. Today we are talking all about PR. Now, legacy and PR is our 5th theme on our 5 themes. We work with your brand, your website, your blog, your social presence, your legacy and PR. And today we're going to be talking about PR because, Emily...
Well, I have just been on the radio, which is super exciting. I was on BBC Radio Solent for their breakfast show talking all about weddings. Why weddings? If you're just coming into Yellow Tuxedo, it's because, if you don't know, we have a second business, which is all about outdoor weddings. And if you don't follow the wedding industry, which some of you might not...
Well, quite a lot of our followers do,
you
so
may
we do
realise
recognise that.
The wedding industry right now is pretty dire.
Is this where I make my Kaiser Soze?
Do that funny joke again.
Like Kaiser Soze. It's not funny the second time. Like Kaiser Soze.
Oh, really funny. What do you mean?
Not
Non-existent.
Wasn't funny. Yeah. Sorry, everyone. Take 2s aren't as don't roll off the tongue as well, do they?
No, they don't. But it was all about the fact that we're coming into a world where micro weddings, if that's a thing, micro weddings will be coming into play. And what's that looking like in terms of revenue for the wedding industry? Is it going to be bigger? Is it going to be smaller? Are we going to survive it? Who knows?
Do we think that's actually going to be? I feel, and I've said this to you a lot, that the world, basically the world and how we live our life is like waves. And the coronavirus has just knocked one of the waves. But the thing about waves is... Oh, actually, I'm about to be very unscientific and get it wrong. Scrap the wave analogy. Basically, I think there will be an element that just returns to normal. And I think people will still want large gatherings. However, there will be a small percentage who do want the micro wedding.
There was... I was on a wedding fair, on a virtual wedding fair yesterday, and I was talking about the suppliers while we're waiting for people to come in our room. And... it was a marquee supplier who was being advised by someone by the government about weddings and how they might shape in the future and looking at legislation of how they will run. And one was looking at getting larger marquees for less people with an absolute ban on drinking and dancing and mingling. Now... What,
by the government?
Someone was advising a paper for the government on how weddings should run in the future.
Ooh, blimey.
And let's face it, who really wants to get married with half their wedding party because they have to choose their favourite members of the family? And if you're anything like us with a big family, there's 30 people blinking hard to choose.
So bearing in mind, this is the person who suggested this was all going to blow over just after Easter. I can't see that happening.
No.
I just can't see that happening.
So a lot of our current books are moving into 2021 because they want to still have the wedding that they want. However, a lot of people are going to forge ahead and want to get married for very different reasons. I mean, for example, there are lots of people who are terminally ill right now who want to still have a service, and they're looking at ways in which they can relax that and all that kind of stuff. So there are people who still want to get married this year, and it will look incredibly different to what's going on. Anyway, bring it back round because...
Bring it all back to you.
No one really wants to know about
Club 7 reference.
How we're doing in the wedding industry and how...
No, because this is about PR and the opportunities that come from it, isn't it?
The brilliant thing this morning is that we had the message last week from one of the producers that we know very well now because we've been on several times on the show and various shows across the country actually, about would we come on for the breakfast show today. And immediately it was... Absolutely, I would love to be on that because you have to grab those opportunities when you can, even if you don't think you have necessarily something massive to say, because you'll always have something to say. That is something that...
Yeah, do you remember, you're the expert in your field, so when you may not think you've got anything to say, you do compared to average Joe who's not in your field. Does that make sense?
In your field?
Yeah. It wasn't meant to be an outdoor wedding party.
And it is really, really true. And I think sometimes we get consumer PR. And don't forget, we're not PR gurus at all by me, but we're looking at how you can harness PR for yourself to make sure that you are benefiting.
And how it forms your content is a key part.
And also how it really does shape that whole expert in your field situation as well. So for the BBC at the moment, we're on their list as a wedding specialist because they know they've had us on their show several times. Okay, articulate on the radio, which they always love because they don't want someone who's just going to freeze and not talk on the radio. And I've talked about dogs at weddings. I've talked about the legislation, the change in legislation. I've talked about how we're looking at the moment, how we can advise couples with their wedding insurance. All those things are things that I can draw on our experiences to then show us as the experts in our field, which is amazing. And that also, amazing. What that does is that also shapes your content strategy, because you're continually showing up with, shush you. You manage to talk about it before, you talk about it during, you talk about it after. You're creating more macro content from that. You're hopefully reaching a wider audience who may not already know your brand's name. And it's just super exciting, and something a little bit different from your regular 9 till 5 in your office doing whatever you're doing.
There is, and there's a couple of things you can do, like to A, grow from that, but B, to help make that happen. Now, if we look at PR in that kind of conventional sense of press releases being sent out, and you create these, we talk about content being based around the questions your clients are asking, or people visitors and people in your industry are talking about and asking. So once you're creating that content, there's no reason why they don't form the basis of a press release as well. So as you're creating vlogs, blogs, podcasts and everything else on your one piece of macro content, why not create a press release from that as well? And some time spent together creating a list of local resources that you can contact, press offices, etc., networking, and to find these people that you can then submit them to, and jumping on a trend like the dog one was a trend one. I was about to go with the dog one.
So Alan and I always talk about PR being a two-way. So 50% is stuff that you are actively going and finding for your business, and 50% is them finding you at the right time. And the example we always use when we do our trainings is... You are so unbelievably noisy. Yes. We're trying to be professional here.
Yeah. As professional as we can be.
Dogs Trust last year, in the media, trending topic in the media was about dogs at weddings. Should it be happening in terms of chocolate cake under the table is not good, fireworks is a bit scary for them, and is it right that dogs should be at weddings? And automatically that's something I jumped on straight away and created some content around, and it got picked up again by the BBC, who then asked for me to come on and do a little bit of a comment on what my opinions were. That is using stuff that may not be in your direct arsenal in terms of your exact products and your exact service, but around what you do, around the theme of what you do, because you never know what's going to pick up. So I always say, look at Google Trends, look at what's in the media, what news items have come up at the moment that are relevant, or you can have a comment on, because you never know who's watching and you never know what conversation you're going to have next.
Well, and then if we're going to finish, it's exactly correct. If we're going to finish this video, then we have to come on to the, when it comes to PR, you never know who's Googling what you do. And that's why having a large online presence, digital visibility, is so important, because you just don't know what opportunities are going to happen. We talk about embracing the grey.
Oh, you haven't said that for at least 3 days.
No, I haven't said embrace the grey, I reckon, for a couple of weeks. Embrace the grey and see what you can do to help work for that. And that's why Bay Lily Bell Tents, our other business, ended up on ITVs this morning.
Oh, well done for putting that in again.
Yeah.
I was going to go about the law question.
Oh,
Change it up a little bit.
Well, no. The thing about ITVs this morning is it's like the BBC one. It's happened multiple times, so they're not flash in the pan things, are they? So we were in a position where they found us, and then we were able to sustain that. Right, come on, let's go. Have an amazing Monday. Contrary to my face throughout this video and the kids and the previous take, I am in a good place, and we do love Mondays.
We've got exciting stuff this week.
We've got client calls,
we've got coffee mornings,
development calls,
development calls. We have got
coffee morning with us on Thursday.
If anyone wants to join, you're always more than welcome. And we have got some bigger planning for the Digital Circus and shaping the first 6 months of our content for that, which is really exciting as well. There's lots going on.
There is lots going on. It's a fab week. Right, have a fab day. Bye.